Hello everyone, Squee here, and welcome to another episode of Thoughts Behind the Wheel. It's been a really long time since I've done one of these, isn't it? For those of you who are unfamiliar with this, because it has been a while, this is like a podcast type thing I do of me just talking to you while I drive. And don't worry, I'm using like hands-free stuff, so it's not like I'm holding up a phone to my face and talking while trying to drive. So I haven't done one in a while because my job that I had for like the past year wasn't too far away from my house, and there wasn't just a lot of driving time stuff that I did to do this kind of thing. However, I have recently switched jobs. I got a new and better job as an IT guy. Yeah, professional nerd right here. And it's a much better job, pays better, I enjoy it more, just good, better all around. But it's like an hour away from where I live. So I've got a bit of a commute now. And I figure, why not? Why not do some thoughts behind the wheels? Now, I don't promise I'm going to do one of these every day, but I can do them on a fairly regular basis. So the idea of Thoughts Behind the Wheel is it's a chance for you guys to ask me questions and for me to answer them. Like a Q&A session. You know how a lot of YouTubers every year or so, they're like, Q&A time, ask me questions, I will answer them in this video. Well, this is a more detailed version of that. You know what I mean? I can spend more time answering your questions because I do more than one video of it. Some questions don't require very long answers, but other ones, you could get into more details. And so, why not? Ask me questions, guys. This whole thing doesn't work without your questions, because then I have no idea what to talk about. But it can be anything from, my knowledge of astronomy or history or chemistry. Don't ask me my knowledge on chemistry. It's lacking everything. It's pretty much lacking everything. My thoughts of being a GM or a DM, however you want to call it, maybe, or anything really. Ask me anything. Ask me questions about myself. Ask me questions about my thoughts or views. As long as you realize that they are simply my thoughts or views, then we're all gravy. So there you go. The sky's the limit. Ask me whatever you want. I mean, honestly, go ahead and ask me whatever you want. If I don't want to answer it, I just won't answer it. There'll be very few things I don't want to answer, unless I think it's obvious trolling or hate speech or something weird like that. But yeah, so ask away, people. So for this edition of Thoughts Behind the Wheel, since obviously you don't have questions for me because you didn't know this was a thing, shame on you. Should have kept up on those ESP classes and known this was coming. How about I answer some common questions that I get that I can remember off the top of my head? Sure, we'll go with that. Most commonly asked questions. Let's see here. Squee, when are you gonna continue series exclamation point? It's been a long time. The answer is I don't know. I'm a very scatterbrained person. Most of you who've been around for more than a day or two know this. There are a lot of series out there that I start and I never complete, and sometimes I leave them off in kind of weird places. And the reason for that is I get bored. I get bored with what's going on, or in some rare cases, like say Fallout 3's roleplay, I don't get bored. I get fatigued and don't have as much time as I used to. So let's go with that one, actually, because that's a really good example. I love the Fallout 3 roleplay, and I do plan on going back to that, actually, fairly soon. Unlike some things where it's like I put a Let's Play down because, like, here's a good example, Skyrim. I know everyone loves Squeeper, and I do too, but I played Oblivion for many, many hours, and then I played Skyrim for many, many, many hours as Squeeper, and, you know, I just wasn't motivated to boot Skyrim up anymore. I just played it for so long, that, you know, with this hobby, or job, or however you want to call it, you gotta not be bored. Otherwise, you're going to be a horrible commentator. You know, it's really difficult to be funny and entertaining if you are not entertained yourself. And people can pick up on that. People can, I'm sure that if you go back and watch enough of my videos, you'll be able to tell the days where I was having a bad day and the days where I was having a great day. And Skyrim's a good example. It's not that I don't love Squeeper and Freya and the Let's Play in general, and maybe I'll go back to it again someday. And I know I left it in a very weird spot, but it just got to the point where it's like, I don't want to play Skyrim today. And once you get to that point, it is better, in my opinion, to stop recording that series and move on to something else than to keep recording that series and run it into the ground. Like, wouldn't you rather... Excuse me, wow, rude. Wouldn't you rather put Skyrim on indefinite hold, possibly never even finish it, and have it end that way, where I was still having enormous fun recording it, than have me push myself to end it, but it's a really bad ending. It's not funny, it's not entertaining, it's not any of those things, because it's easy to tell that I was forcing myself to do it. Now, there's a certain amount of forcing that goes on with any Let's Play. There's a lot of games where I'm like, alright, I gotta push through this last 6 hours or so, but that's different. That's, you know, a short 1 or 2 sessions I kind of push myself to get through because I want to get to another game and I want to finish this one and I really want to have this done and complete. That's one thing. But when it's a game like Skyrim where there is no actual real ending in sight, other than an artificial ending I'd make up myself, that's different. So the answer is like, will I come back to Skyrim? I don't know, someday. I'm sure I will, maybe. But if not, you know, appreciate the journey for what it was. I don't have the same kind of time I used to. I used to do this for a living. I don't anymore. So now I have to be very picky and choosy of what I spend my time on. But I got sidetracked. Fallout 3 roleplay is very different. I didn't get bored of that at all, or the game at all. I got fatigued. It's a difficult thing to do, to first-person roleplay a character like Sean in a post-apocalyptic world. I can't be that funny. I can't crack a bunch of wisecracks. I mean, I can throw some of it in there as Sean, but Sean's obviously a much more serious person than I am. And while I love it because it adds great tension and drama and all that stuff, and I love playing the part of Sean, it can be fatiguing. You sit down for 3 hours and you play a semi-serious soldier in a world where everything's gone to hell and he's just trying to survive and people are dying around him, and it's hard. It's hard. So that one I put to the side. Like I said, not because I got bored. I didn't. Every time I sat down to the computer, I was excited to boot up Fallout 3 and keep going, but I got emotionally drained from it. But I will tell everyone that Fallout 3 roleplay is something I plan on finishing, and I plan on starting up again soon-ish. I'll probably put out an update video that'll go into some more detail, but Hae-Yoon, my wife, was in Korea for the last 2 weeks visiting family, so I had a lot more time than usual, and I did a lot of recording. I finished up Arkham Knight. I got about 8 to 10 hours of Witcher done, which is what I'm going to be uploading after Arkham Knight. And the thing, what I'm doing is, you know, 1 video a day, Arkham Knight, and then I'll move into Witcher. I've got like a month backlog. You know what I mean? I've got enough videos to last a month, one video a day. And then, of course, there's going to be Ardenfell, and of course, there'll be XCOM 2 and all that interspersed around those. So the idea is that I've got such a backlog that I'll have time to keep up with it. I really want to get to where I have at least one video a day. So there's one video a day going up on my channel. I used to do 4 videos a day, you know? And that was great because there was always something you'd enjoy. Maybe you didn't like this game I played, maybe you didn't like that game I played, but at least there's the other 2 games that I play that you like. And I miss those days too, but I don't have the time. But my goal is one game a day, at least, on a daily basis, consistently, 7 days a week, you know, and we'll see how that goes. My point was, I've got a lot of our Arkham Knights done, and I've got a lot of Witcher recorded, and my hope is that'll give me time to do some Fallout 3, and I won't be doing Fallout 3 uploads every day, but maybe get a few out every few weeks or something like that, you know what I mean? A slower schedule, but keep it going until I finish it, because I do have a definite point I want to get to in that game. So, yeah, that's that. Yeah. Here's a quick one I get asked all the time. Squee, when are you and Kriana gonna do more SWTOR? Why for no SWTOR, Kriana and Squee? And we get asked that a lot because it's one of our more popular things, and we loved doing it. Every time Kriana and I sit down and get together, we always we need to end those. We need to end those because we're so close to the end. We need to just jump on there, finish up the stories of Perrin and Mouse and Rosalind and oh crap, what's my Jedi's name? Oh no, Robbie. Rosalind and Robbie. Because we are fairly close. But the truth of the matter is, guys, oh man, did we burn ourselves out on SWTOR. Oh, wow. We got to... Remember I was talking about you get to the point where you're just not excited to boot the game up anymore? We're excited for this. There was... Okay, I will say this. A long time ago, it got to the point where Kriana and I were playing those games because we wanted to see how the story ended. And that was about it. We didn't really care much for the rest of it. Not that it's a horrible game, but that I don't think either of us are huge MMO people. I know Kriana loves Final Fantasy XI, but that's kind of a different style of game. It got to the point where it was we love the characters, we love the roleplay, we love the story. We could take or leave the game itself. So every time we get together, we're like, man, we should just get together and finish this. And I assume one day we will, but it's hard. It's hard to find the time to get together. It's hard to find the time to get motivated to finish it, especially after it's been on pause for so long. I don't know. That's on my great to-do list of things I would like to finish someday. We have toyed around with the idea of doing something else together as a role play. I don't want to go too far into it because, if it never happens, I don't want anyone to get disappointed. But we do still want to do stuff and provide more content for you guys. So, things are in the works, kind of. It's just so hard because finding time where we're both free is difficult. So another thing I'm asked a lot, and actually on a related note, I suppose. Squeak, why for you, Kriana, always fighting? Why are you guys always having falling out? Every time you guys sit down and you're in front of the mic, you have another falling out. And why you fight all the time? And actually, believe it or not, I actually do get this question sometimes. Well, see, yeah, it's tougher. That's a tougher answer than you might think. It's not simple. It's not. Because, okay, you know what? Fine. I'm just going to give you guys the answer that you, maybe not the answer you need, but definitely the answer you deserve. See, the truth of the matter is that there is a massive wallaby that lives in the core of our planet. Most people don't know about it, and I'll tell you why most people don't know about it. Kriana, that's right, that's why. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So there's a giant wallaby that lives in the core of our planet. And it has a voracious appetite. It eats the core of the planet, and left to its own devices, it would have destroyed the planet a long time ago. And the elder gods, they got together and they said, that's not good. We should stop that. We should contain the wallaby. And they found that the only way to truly contain it was a line of people, a particular bloodline that was able to, their unbridled rage and frustration was able to constrain the wallaby and pacify it. Basically, they were able to enter such great states of mind of rage that it could subdue the wallaby and put it to sleep, and thus keep it from eating the core of the earth. And as you might have guessed, those first people that kept the wallaby subdued was Kriana's ancestors. And she's got an amazing gift of being able to enter into such a rage that it can literally pacify the demon wallaby that lives in the center of the earth. It's a very special gift. But the problem that they realized was that it's hard for someone to remain in a state of eternal rage. So, the elder gods crafted an avatar, a perfect being designed for one purpose and one purpose only, and that purpose is to stoke the continual frustration and rage of this bloodline. So, that's me, folks. That's me. My ancestors were created, you could say, to make Kriana and her ancestors' life a living hell. So, while to many of you, I'm sure, it may seem like a simple two friends that always act like they're in the middle of a fight because they find it utterly hilarious. It may seem like that to you, but the truth is far more vital. What you are staring at, what you are witnessing, are two perfect beings. Kriana, who is a being who has been raised from birth to be in an eternal rage, and I, the perfect avatar, created simply and totally to piss her off. And thus are you kept safe, my children. And thus are you kept safe. Okay. Lost my train. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I lost my train of thought like 5 minutes ago. I have no idea what the hell I was just talking about. So that's the kind of crap you get when I am just throwing it out there. What's another question I get a lot? Arena. I get questions about Arena a lot. Hey, are you going to write more Arena? And again, it falls into the same categories of time. If you think doing a Let's Play is time extensive, imagine writing the story. Incredibly time consuming. And believe it or not, I should write more of Arena, but lately my thoughts have been, when it comes to writing and being creative and storytelling, have been going a different direction. So I've told a lot of you that there was always a book I wanted to write if it was the last thing I ever did or whatnot. It was something I had when I was a kid, and as I grew up it got more coherent or whatnot. I realized, because I would listen to a lot of audiobooks at my previous job, and I realized that there are not a lot of sci-fi series that are, Mass Effect-ish, a space opera. There are sci-fi series that are space operas, but the hero's journey, the fun, crazy adventure where you meet tons of aliens and you've got a cruise on a ship, or you have an ancient evil threat that everyone must band together and fight, like Wheel of Time, or those kind of stories, those high adventure. There are not a lot of sci-fi series that are like that. Now, there's several one-off books, like, one book here, one book there. There's a few series that are kind of like that, but I've noticed that most of them are dark, grim, Game of Thrones-y type books. Which is a shame. Like, let's just put it this way. If you played Mass Effect and loved Mass Effect and then said, man, I want more of that. I want to read a series that's like that. Well, tough luck, because they don't really exist that much. What was my point? Before I went off on a rant there? Oh, yeah. I am thinking about starting to write again. But it'd be more of a sci-fi story. It'd be basically ideas that I've had in my head for years and years and years. Instead of it being like an anime in book form, like Arena is, it'd be like a science fiction space opera. Because I don't feel there's enough of those in this world. I don't. So, yeah. And of course, then the question would be, well, what's all that about? Well, I don't know. I don't know if anyone cares. But that's the whole point of this podcast, right? Yeah. You want to know, you ask me, and I will answer. So, I'm going to go ahead and end this here. And the next step is up. Oh my God, I thought that guy's car was on fire, but it's just smoke. It rolled down his window, and dear Lord, how many cigarettes did you smoke in a row to get that kind of... That's impressive. That's an impressive... Like, it rolled out his window and over the front of his car, and it looked like his car was on fire. I'm impressed. That man's got some vape skills. Any questions? So ask away. Ask questions in the comments. I will gather them up and I will answer them during these Thoughts Behind the Wheel podcast thing. Again, I don't really want to throw anything off the table or put anything off limits, because I can always choose whether or not to answer the question. Yeah. So, that's it. Let's do that. Let's go. We'll do that. And, hope you guys have a nice day. Yeah, no, you guys have a good day. I'm gonna go fix computers. It's good now. It's been mystifying me that this job is so nice, and the people there are so great. And I'm always so grateful when I fix their computer, and it's like, to them, like to me, I'm, Control-Alt-Delete, in task, reboot, you're done. But to them, it's magic. I'm working magic. It's crazy. But it certainly makes you feel good. So, yeah. All right. Well, bye, everyone. I will be talking to you soon. I will be talking to you so soon. Ta-ta.